how many bags of fertilizer have already been distributed?
8 million for the 2024 long green season.
Thank you. And according to the motion, this is to be found on page 17. That is point number 18. How many bags are in contention as being substandard, according to the motion?
Which page?
Page 17, it might be page 18 of the motion. Point number 8,
Around 3,000 bags.
So out of more than 3 million bags, the problem is only with, you said?
Around 3,000 bags, that's what this is.
Yes. Roughly that would be about what percentage?
It's 0.00 something.
Thank you. And let us go to the affidavit of the mover. That is on page 25, 26 of the motion.
Yes.
From that affidavit, on a CS, I want us to start from paragraph 2 of the affidavit. Please read the first 3 lines of paragraph 2.
That I have read and have no reason not to believe that the article published on the 1st March 2022 by the Citizen Digital Online News Platform published an article titled National Serious Bond Enters into Manja, aimed at lowering fertilizer prices.
That's enough. Kindly read for us also the third paragraph.
That I have read and have no reason not to believe that the article published on Monday, 11th March 2024 by the Daily Nation newspaper online titled Government Confirms Distribution of Banned Fertilizers to Farmers.
That's enough. Thank you. Paragraph 4, also the first 3 lines, please.
That I have read and have no reason not to believe that the article published on Saturday, 6th April 2024 by the Daily newspaper online titled Government Confirms Distribution of Banned Fertilizer to Farmers.
The next paragraph is paragraph
5.
Please.
That I have read and have no reason not to believe that the article published on 2nd April 2024 by the African Report, an online magazine titled Kenyan Government Knowingly Supplying Fake Fertilizers to Farmers.
Thank you. Now, Panasias, from the affidavit of the mover, I want you to comment on this recurring theme of online blogs or online news articles.
Probably what I may say is that all the material and the reasons for alluded to in this motion are issues or reasons that have been raised out of online publications by either different bloggers or whatever source these are. And in my view, if we are to descend this level of using digital online publications from whoever writes from anywhere to impeach or to bring impeachment motions, then I think the country will be really being threatened to situations where I do not think any civilized democracy would want to really admit.
Thank you. And still looking at that affidavit, I want us to look at the last page of the affidavit. Who has sworn the affidavit?
Jack Wanami Wamboka.
Thank you. On what date?
23rd April 2024.
Who is the commissioner that has commissioned that affidavit?
The commissioner here is Brian Mandila Kahemba.
Thank you. And the affidavit itself is written that it is drawn by who?
Brian Kahemba.
Thank you. And Bwana CS, from the previous questioning, you are a lawyer, and on top of that, you have considerable experience interacting with legal documents, probably because of the many cases you have been tracked through. To the best of your knowledge, and bearing in mind the provisions of Section 4 of the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act, can an affidavit competently be commissioned by the same party that drew it?
My understanding and reading of Section 4 of the Oaths and Statutory Instrument Act is that you really cannot rely on an affidavit that has been drawn and commissioned at the same time by the same advocate. And I don't have to give the reasons.
Okay. I will refer you to a decision, to two decisions from our court. That is at page 216 of our affidavit. Stamp of 216. And probably before we go to 216, we start with 214 for purposes of laying the basis.
214.
And when I say yes, I'll refer you to paragraph 49. That is at the very bottom of that page. What is the issue in consideration there? Please read for us.
The next issue of consideration is whether a commissioner for oaths can exercise the powers given under Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act in any proceedings or matter in which he or she is the advocate for any of the parties to the proceedings or concerned in the matter in which he or she is interested. The relevant law on this point is found under Section 4(1) of the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act, which provides.
You don't have to read that. I believe the Honorable Committee.
Presiding Chair.
Look at that.
Council, did we agree that once you have set out the issue of fact, which the witness has ably responded, that a lawyer cannot draft and commission his own affidavit? Is it that enough for us? Can you trust that we also understand the law and will appreciate when you come to submission so that we make progress?
I am much guided, Mheshimiwa.
Let me comment on that particular matter as well, because I mentioned in the morning that when I'm being tried in the public court, given an opportunity to respond, I think it's only for me to respond appropriately. And the reason is...
Yes, with a lot of respect. With a lot of respect, we, in my view, at least speaking for myself, I have heard you, and that you also want to have your day and to make as much information as you can on these issues. But there are some issues which we can shorten for purposes of time, because those are legal issues and there are issues of consideration by the committee. So you are being led on evidence, and the only portion of evidence there is that a lawyer cannot commission his own affidavit. The other one is an issue for discussion by the committee and appreciation, so that we make progress.
I'm guided, Chair, but we really wanted the country to know why you cannot commission your own document, because it is required that you swear an oath before a commissioner or anybody else competent.
That is true. Why you can say why, yes. Why is an issue of evidence, which you can say.
I have finalized.
Perhaps
before you proceed, note that on the matter of defective affidavit, the select committee had made its ruling on this particular matter yesterday, and please do not continue to prosecute this matter any further.
good question. I will ask one last question. Honorable CS, my final question to you is, what is your request? What is your appeal to this Honorable Committee?
Is to dismiss this motion with the contempt it deserves.
Thank you. Chair, we donate our remaining time, 1 hour and some seconds, to the committee.
Thank you so much. We now proceed to cross-examination for the next 1 hour.
There's something worrying me at the moment. Can you adjourn this matter? Give me an adjournment for a short time.
You are suggesting
If you could grant us an adjournment for a short time. There's something.
reasons?
I would prefer that I don't give reasons really at the moment.
Okay. Let me consult, and then
Yeah.
Honorable,
How many minutes is he requesting?
You may have seen me come in and go out, come in and go out. I would prefer that I don't give reasons.
How many minutes is he asking for?
how many?
Yeah.
Would 15 minutes be fair? If I can sort it out before 15 minutes, I will tell your assistant.
Chair, I think we need to be definite with time. Otherwise, if we say if we can sort it out within 15 minutes, what happens after 15 minutes? When you, yeah?
Okay, we give you 20 minutes.
Yeah. 15.
And what if everybody?
No, 15 minutes.
Pardon?
With the everybody to bring forward, if I sort out the problem earlier.
Yeah, but maximum
I'll tell you
of how many
Okay,
minutes?
let us be definite on that. 15 minutes.
Okay.
Sergeant, did I follow?
24th April.
24th April.
Yes.
So, it will follow, therefore, that this CBK report is much older than the motion before us.
Correct.
It must also, therefore, follow that this CBK report cannot have been authored with this motion in mind.
It cannot.
Let's go to page 115.
Several farmers indicated that proper timing in issuance of subsidized fertilizer and the quality of fertilizer assessed were important factors that support increased acreage.
So again, without trivializing the misfortunes some farmers suffered, is this a positive or negative story? What you just read?
Yes.
Is it positive or negative?
It is positive.
Good.
117.
Let's go to page 117. Again, can you read the highlighted part, sir?
Access to government subsidized fertilizer. The proportion of respondents who reported to have accessed government subsidized fertilizer increased substantially to 67% in March 2024 from 53% in January 2024 survey.
An increase of 67%.
Yeah.
Would that depict you as a successful cabinet secretary or the rogue cabinet secretary the move of the motion would want the world to believe?
From my judgment, he is a successful cabinet secretary.
Actually, a very successful cabinet secretary.
I was being modest.
Let's go to 121, page 121 of this document. Again, what does the Central Bank of the Republic of Kenya say?
Approximately 70% of sampled farmers reported to have benefited from the subsidized fertilizer, a key input in crop production.
So again, does that depict you, sir, as the clown the media has painted for 5 years? Or does it depict you as actually a competent and consummate cabinet secretary?
Contrary to what the media has, or picture that the media has created over years, this depicts me as hard-working and competent cabinet secretary.
As a matter of fact, Honorable Linturi, how were you ranked when you were MP for South Igembe?
I was ranked quite highly, and I think the audit reports can really demonstrate that. And at no single time did I attract any audit query. At no single time did I not absorb my budget within the year.
Let's go to page 131. What is this document and why have you placed it before the committee?
This is just to prove or to demonstrate to the committee that I've been a victim of an organized campaign by the media and other financiers to malign my name, and this is the story I mean reference to, that was carried by the Star newspaper purporting that I'd been arrested together with my deputy, with my permanent secretary.
When did this happen, Honorable Linturi?
This story, the exact date, this is last week. It's the same last week, Thursday or Friday, thereabout.
It says in the caption there, DPP orders arrest of agriculture CS Mithika Linturi, PS Porono of alleged fake fertilizer saga.
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge, has the DPP ever ordered your arrest or that of your peers?
No.
Has the Star ever apologized to you or to the peers for this fake news?
They have never, and at no time that we ever written a positive story about me.
Again, is the Star one of the big newspapers in this republic?
Yes, it is.
Let's go to the document at page 132. What is that document, sir?
This is a decision of the Supreme Court of Kenya on the Mike Mbuvi Sonko case.
Yes. Now, I want you to take the committee to page 189 of the Bedu, paragraph 149 of that decision.
Page 189, paragraph
149.
Do I continue?
Please read paragraph 149.
As to the standard of proof in impeachment charges, the Court of Appeal, in its judgment in Martin Nyaga Wambora and 3 others versus the Speaker of the Senate and 6 others, Civil Appeal number 21 of 2014, found that to impeach a governor requires a high threshold, but that standard is neither beyond reasonable doubt nor on a balance of probability. Noting that the threshold for removal of a governor involves gross violation of the Constitution, we hold that the standard of proof required for removal of governor is above a balance of probability, but below reasonable doubt.
To the best of your knowledge, sir, would this standard of proof be met when all the witnesses said they are not even aware what you are accused of?
It will not be met.
Would it be met when the mover added cross-examination instead of pointing to the alleged approval, kept debating the motion?
It will not be met.
Okay, let's go to page 190. Next page.
Injunction by senior counsel.
Yes, I will restrain myself deliberately from objecting to anything. Partly because when I do object, you say to me that, look, wait until your time for cross-examination.
Do we stop the clock, Honorable Chair?
Now, we have a witness.
Counsel, senior counsel. Counsel, I confirmed to you that our team is
Yes,
on that.
the witness being asked about surrender of proof. Should he really be asked? Is that not something my learned friend can comment on when he's making submissions?
Honorable Chair, again I seek your protection. I have a job to do, and there is no rule I have breached. So let me just be allowed without interjection, because I keep saying, the Honorable Camino is almost my grandfather, and I've really resisted having to have an altercation, because in Meru, where I come from, you don't have an altercation with your seniors, whether they are right or they are wrong. That's the rule in Meru. They are your seniors, they are your elders, but also elders have to also exercise restraint of some sort.
But Chair, Presiding Chair.
Honorable TJ.
I think that is the precise reason why you should accept wisdom from your grandfather on issues of law. Whereas
he is not just my grandfather, he's a partisan player because he has a client he's representing and I represent the adversary. If it were just an exchange between a grandfather and grandson, on this one, he is a partisan counsel, just like I'm partisan counsel. And that's why I'm saying, why can't I just be allowed
yeah, but
to
just
do my
listen
job?
to me. The wisdom from the patriarch is that you need not cross-examine or lead evidence on opinion on law. Because your client that is not here to lead evidence on value judgment on law, we will see them in submissions. You will make submissions on them. And whereas it is very appropriate for you to bring them to our attention, we also want to save time. And so things which will come before us as submissions and judgments which we can make decisions on, you probably can save time. I think that's
Fair
the wisdom.
enough, Chair. Like
that's the
I always
wisdom
say,
from from the old man.
Today I'm not in any quarrelsome mood, and like I've told you, I also always usually agree with my senior on the other side, so let's move on.
Chair, if you allow me, yesterday, not anyone else other than the Vice Chair did mention that this matter is more of a political process. And being or having been in politics for some time, and being tried in the public court, and there is also need, and that is why these proceedings are not in camera, for me to also get an opportunity when an opportunity arises to respond to the story that the public has been given. And it is true, whatever happened here yesterday was clearly playing to the gallery. Without that in my opportunity to explain to the public, I think prejudices me when it comes to issues of how we relate with my colleagues out there, with the public out there, because I was unable to protect.
Council, proceed.
Honorable Linturi, let's go to the document number 10 at page 252 of your budget. Please, can you explain to the Honorable Select Committee what this document is and why you have placed it before the committee?
This is a letter addressed to me by the DCI in regard to a number of complaints that they were investigating. Reference was made in the motion in regard to my imminent arrest by DCI, and this matter or this letter explains that the cases that were being referred to are cases that were investigated by the DCI. The referral was forwarded to the DPP, and the DPP directed that the files be closed and with no further action. And if, for whatever worth it is, one of these cases, I was the complainant, and in that Justice Ongundi judgment, if you go through it, one and how ended up being the victim. I was the complainant, I was the victim, but at the end of the day, I was one to be charged, so that you understand what kind of games were there at that time.
So, Honorable Linturi, we have a motion before this committee that says there are serious reasons for believing you have committed a crime. and we have a letter from DCI confirming that those matters were closed. What is your comment?
That allegations should fall flat because we have demonstrated to the committee that he did what was said in the motion is not correct.
Let's go to the document number 11. What is that document? And why have you placed it before this honorable committee?
This is a judgment of the court in my favor.
Can you read for us at page 261, the highlighted part?
I think this is what Justice Manjanja said, that the first defendant's claim, the first defendant's counterclaim is allowed on terms that the judgment is entered for the first defendant against the plaintiff, second, third, and fourth defendant jointly and severally for the sum of 21,846,607 with interest at the court rates from the date of filing suit until payment in full. I am the first defendant in this matter.
So, Honorable Linturi, this judgment relates to one of the alleged acts of forgery and whatnot against you. And the judge ruled in your favor and even awarded you 21 million shillings. Did the media publicize this victory on your part the way they have been publicizing the allegations against you?
They've never.
Good. Let's go to the document at page 263. Why have you placed it before this committee?
This is also a ruling in my favor on a matter that revolves the occupation and ownership of my house in Runda.
Again, Honorable Linturi, 5 years of negative media publicity about that house. The court has ruled in your favor. Did the media publicize this victory on your part?
They can't.
So the public is still stuck with the image that there was a claim about your house, but they are never told the other side when you win.
They are happy to do that. When we win, we have no access to publicity, and if there has to be there, then you must pay for it.
Let's go to page 278. What is that document?
This is also another. There's an order from the Court of Appeal.
How many judges of the Court of Appeal have made that order?
There are three.
Three judges of the Court of Appeal issued an order in your favor.
Yes.
Did the media publicize this victory?
They did not.
So again, the public is left with the image of Linturi, the bad guy. Never mind, the Court of Appeal has vindicated him.
Yes.
Let's go to the document at page 287. What is it and why have you placed it here?
This is also another judgment.
From which court?
From the Chief Magistrate's Court in Nairobi, and the judgment relates to the much publicized divorce that never was, and again the magistrate ruled in my favor, and the same was never told to the public.
So again, the magistrate has ruled in your favor. the picture painted to the world for 5 years is overruled Linturi.
Yes, and I wish today they are televising live, because this is the opportunity probably I may have.
Let's go to page 306. What is that document?
The issue we have here is of fake fertilizer. We are spending a lot of time on love matters. We are spending a lot of time on media. Can you give some guidance really of how we
Honorable Chair, let them withdraw ground number 2. Our work will be very easy. They can't have it both ways.
Chair.
Thank
Chair.
you. Honorable Malulu.
I would like you to restrain our senior counsel, because they're the ones who raised these issues. You can see even the client is pleading that he should also have time for this to be clarified, because yesterday when they were prosecuting this, it was also on the media, live. So when it comes to him now responding, why does he want him not to respond?
Or
You have made
probably
your point,
declare-
Honorable Member. Honorable Jane, then
Chair.
Honorable Manyo.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I think it is very unfortunate that the presenter of the motion or the mover of the motion invited us to listen to this kind of information. And you see, it is common knowledge that the issue at hand is the issue of fake fertilizer and the nexus between the fake fertilizer and the CS. But unfortunately, we were presented with a motion that is laced with information on past love affairs and other matters. And as unfortunate as it is, we were invited to that information, and unfortunately the parties have to deal with it.
Thank you, Honorable Manyo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Although we are listening to the CS side, the person being mentioned is not here to defend herself. That's why we are finding it difficult. We cannot listen to one side of the spectrum, and the other side of the spectrum is nowhere. So if we must dwell on this matter, and it's very important, then let Lady Honorable Mary Ann, the ex of the CS, come to defend herself. Otherwise, we are just listening to rhetorics.
Thank you, Honorable Omanyo. You have made your point. Honorable.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. And unfortunately, what we are dealing with, as far as this testimony is concerned, are court cases. Those court cases were introduced by the mover of the motion. So surely the respondent has every right to comment on each of those cases. When the mover introduced the cases, sorry about that. Hey, don't.
This is a serious matter.
Sorry,
Bedroom affairs.
this is very serious.
This is bedroom affairs.
All right, I think the mic is loud enough and you don't have to see me anyway. Honorable Chairperson, the mover of the motion introduced the cases, and the comments we are getting are in respect of each of the cases cited in the motion. So two things we have to say. Number one, the respondent surely has a right to respond to the cases that were put before us. That is number one. Number two, it is very important also to recast that where a witness is actually a lawyer or an advocate, issues of law and opinion can actually be put to him, because that is what our rules provide. So I do not think the council is going out of the way to try and get these cases recited and commented on, because they are part and parcel of the facts in issue before us.
Honorable Yusuf.
Madam Chair, I'm not a lawyer and I can't argue on the point of law.
but if my mind serves me very well, yesterday we restrained Honorable Wamboga not to comment about this issue. It was a debate in this committee. I never wanted to argue about this issue. We want the honorable members, yes, and his lawyer to restrain themselves on this issue. The way we have reprimanded yesterday, Honorable Wamboka, to restrain himself. Thank you.
Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Tandaza.
Thank you, Chair. I think the process was very clear that the mover actually prosecuted his case based on what he had presented before this committee and before Parliament. And the Mheshimiwa, the CS, also put his replying affidavit in the same manner that he is holding and is being questioned or is being led through by his counsel. So I don't see anything wrong. For as long as the counsel is taking him through his affidavits, which were filed and we have them, then he should rightly proceed, unless he is asking questions beyond what is in those replying affidavits. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I think members have made their points. Honorable Omanyo, you have severally pleaded with us that we invite Marianne, that we will deal with it at our own level later, so that as a select committee, then we can give you our response. The other thing is about the proceedings. Yesterday, we did not stop the mover from presenting his case. And at one stage, the council here proposed that he withdraws so that we don't, deliberate on this. I know some of us are real Africans, and discussing bedroom matters is not very pleasing. But we have been put in this situation by the mover and his counsel. Now that they did not withdrew yesterday, we have no option but we have to wrestle with all this. And ours is just to say we do not want to get into the details, but for every case that has been presented, they are at liberty to respond, so that just as we publicly heard the mover yesterday, they can also respond and the public can also hear their side. I don't know why we are being affected, because if we were not affected yesterday when we heard all this news, we shouldn't be affected today when it is the second day and we are even used to now the things that are happening. So I suggest that we proceed for the next 20 minutes. At 1, we will break for lunch, and then we will come back. Thank you.
Much obliged, Chair. So, Honorable Linturi, the document at page 306, why have you placed it before this committee?
Your Chair and the committee have placed this document before the committee to demonstrate to the committee, contrary to the assertion by the mover, specifically under this civil suit number E138 of 2018, I got favorable judgments from the rulings from the court.
So there is a favorable ruling from the court on the matters in ground 2 again in your favor.
Correct.
Was this favorable ruling on your part ever publicized, like the accusations against you had been?
It was not, and I don't think it will ever be.
It will never be. Let's go to the document at page 314. Why have you placed it before this honorable committee?
It's also to demonstrate the same thing.
Again, the court vindicated you. Was this publicized? Did it headline news?
It was not.
It was not reported.
Yeah.
Let's go to the document at page 319. What is it and why have you placed it before the committee? I hope you note, Honorable Chair, I'm desisting from going into the details because I don't want us to.
This is also another court order which was in my favor and which also was directing the police to give security to evict the member from my house.
Was this decision in your favor given the publicity that for 5 years the world kept being told about the bad Linturi?
It was not.
It was not publicized. And why have you placed the document at page 320 before the committee?
Is also another document to prove to the committee, despite her losing those cases, she went for appeal, and the appeal was also dismissed by the court.
So she lost, she appealed, but she still lost.
Yes.
Was that victory on your part, given the publicity to erase the image the world has been fed for years and years of Linturi the bad guy?
It was never done, contrary to what had been published.
President and the finance this week. So far, we've received 14,454 bags of plant fertilizer. 1,904 bags. Almost 40,000 bags.
130,000. Mahindi yangu ya kwanza inaanza kufanya tracing. Kwa majina naitwa Linturi'S, ni mkulima wa mahindi, maharagwe, minji, mboga. Kama saa hii niko na mavuno hapa, niko na OCP hapa. Mavuno ndio hii, nimepandia nao maharagwe, nimepandia nao mahindi. Tena OCP nimetumia na ni nzuri. Kama hii inaotesha, basi nimemaliza hapa. Otesha naye ni mbolea safi. Tena mavuno ni nzuri. Tena OCP tena ni nzuri. Nashukuru juu nimepandia, nimeona nayo maharagwe imetoka vizuri, iko healthy, mahindi imetoka vizuri. Nashukuru. Tena nimepata kwa bei nafuu. Si kama biashara pia, tulikuwa tunanunua mbolea ya 6,000 na class A ilikuwa 500. 5,500. Nashukuru.
Kwa kazi inafanya kazi muhimu sana ya mbolea ifike kwa wakati uliofaa na pia kwa bei iliyo sawa. Hapo mwanzo tulikuwa tunanunua na 6,500 kwenda juu, na kwa sasa ni 2,500. Na kwa hiyo tunashukuru sana serikali, tunaomba wasije kuongeza mbolea kwa wingi.
Mungu atubariki sana. Mbolea ilikuja wakati mzuri na tumeweza kupanda wakati mzuri. Challenge ilikuwa tunayo ilikuwa wewe. Wakati huu ninapoongea mahindi yangu ya kwanza ninaanza kufanya prosperity kwa sababu mahindi ni vizuri na hiyo mbolea tulipata mbolea ya pamoja na mafuno both planting and extension.
Mbolea has always been our problem. So that's what but within the president program, we are increasing our cost of production.
Nilikuwa nimejua madarasa ya haya. Alafu sasa nimekuwa na serikali. Hata nimepata viazi, nimepata mahindi, na viazi iko sawa sana. Mbolea yenye nimepata nayo ilikuwa safi. Na nimepata viazi, na saa hii inaanza kutoa mahindi. Sasa nimekuja kuchukua tu. Na niko na viazi vingine nataka kupanda. Hiyo wali na ngojea ilipea sijalipa kwa
Chair, the next video can be played. It is video number. It must be video number 1, I believe.
The agricultural sector is the backbone of Kenya's economy, contributing approximately 33% of our gross domestic product, GDP, and it employs 40% of Kenyans.
Because arable land in Kenya is limited and our population has increased over the years, the only way to increase agricultural productivity is through the use of high-quality inputs, in particular fertilizer, which significantly increases crop yields in the same area of land, use mechanization, and support farmers to be able to produce. We have prepared farmers in 41 counties and delivered to them 3,536,162 bags of crop-specific, region-specific fertilizer, and in the process registered more than 5 million farmers and issued 3,628,512 e-vouchers and established a last-mile distribution network.
The Kenya Kwanza government has prioritized the agricultural sector by supporting farmers to increase food
production for livelihood, always kept.
Do you actually depend on women for livelihood, Honorable Linturi?
I maintain them.
Let's go to the document at page 337, sir.
Yes, 337.
Why have you placed this document before the Honorable Select Committee?
Your Honor, is also to demonstrate that despite the appeal that's made, the court also ruled again in my favor.
So when the court ruled in your favor, was this victory on your part ever publicized the way the allegations against you have been publicized for 5 years?
It was not. And members of the committee, not only did I get these federal court orders, but I also got the costs which I have never asked for. I think it's important.
So, Honorable Linturi, we have gone through decision after decision after decision, through and through and through, and they are all in your favor. Correct or incorrect?
Correct.
Are these decisions made by one judge?
No.
Are they decisions made by one magistrate?
No.
Are they decisions made by one court?
No.
Are they decisions made by some clique of judges and magistrates?
No, no.
As a matter of fact, are these decisions from the same court station?
No.
So you will agree that these are well-spread decisions from various judges, various courts, various magistrates.
Yes.
Let's go. We oppose very strenuously the request for adjournment You recall in the morning, an attempt was again made to cast aspersions as to why the mover of the motion was not before this committee. One would have thought, given the weight of the matter that he has raised before you, that he would be here. And I warned because I knew there would be attempts to play to the gallery. My trainers told me, when the law is on your side, you bang on the law. When the facts are on your side, you bang on the facts. When both the facts and the law are not on your side, you bang on the table. My colleagues on the other side are banging on the table because it is clear to anyone who has watched these proceedings, they never had a good reason. I recall asking the Honorable Chair, can we be assured why the Honorable mover of this motion is not before you in the morning? Because I knew aspersions would be cast.
Council, give me a minute. Honorable Omanyo.
He cannot give us a verdict, and we are still investigating. So he can't say the mover of the sponsor had a bad intention, and yet we are still investigating. And let us not assume anything at this moment. Kindly.
Council, assume.
So, Chair, even I asked in the morning, you'll be assured that there are no untoward reasons why the mover is not before you, and you are not given any untoward reasons. My instructions are, even as the mover has kept us this busy, he flew to Mombasa to attend to different functions of the Assembly in a committee of the Assembly. That must be taken to be the seriousness with which the mover himself has taken these proceedings before you. I'm not trying to belittle the importance of the committee before which the Honorable Member went to appear in Mombasa, but I would have thought, Honorable Chair, that if there was any important business for today that should have engaged the mover, it should have been him being here in these proceedings that he has instituted. But now that we saw it coming and we asked to be assured, Council has told you a few minutes ago, let's adjourn for 15 minutes. And you asked him, can you tell us why we need to adjourn for those 15 minutes? And he told me, I can't tell you for now. Just give me 15 minutes. I'll go, then we'll be ready to proceed. So, Chair was kind enough to give him not 15, but 20. Now, after we've come, Council told you he needed to address certain matters so that we can resume. He has now come here on the gallery and told you how he has acted for people they want to remain in prison, how he has lived in various administrations, and now people have been harmed. He is casting aspersions. And because he's casting aspersions, we are unfortunately also forced, in the absence of any material, to cast aspersions. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. In the absence of any evidence of foul play, why these advocates are not here, it is not fair, it is not open to my colleague to start casting aspersions, especially given the sequence of events. 20 minutes ago, he didn't alarm anyone. He just told you he needs to be out for 15 minutes. When we come, you'll be ready. Lastly, Honorable Chair, under our legal system,
cross-examination of witnesses is not mandatory. If you read the Evidence Act, I believe it should be section 146, cross-examination is only done if the adverse party, quote unquote, so desires. So that if the mover of the motion through his counsel is not desirous of cross-examining the Honorable Linturi, or is not ready, or he has nothing to cross-examine, then they should just tell you that instead of speaking to the galleries and inviting as passions against my client, against the administration of the day, yes, cast many aspersions about our dark past, and I'm not trying to downplay the historical facts that our country has a certain unfortunate history. But I'm just saying we can't take to the gallery to take advantage of that dark history and then try to paint the administration of the day like one that is also capturing, kidnapping advocates and witnesses. It has to be laid. If it is late, we will deal with it. But I was only saying to the extent that the aspersions were being cast, I'm happy we also have the opportunity to say this is a move.
Thank you. I think we need to, because senior counsel has not given us any time, the only thing we can do is to have a bit of consultation with the select committee, and it is important for you all to know that this select committee is supposed to table the report on Monday. We cannot go beyond that. We have to finish this program today. But having said that, we have to finish. Let us have our own time, and we consult, then come back. Senior counsel says so many things. The statements are quite serious, but it's good to see that Asha, you are alive. This confirms that the others are also alive. Wherever they are, they should show up so that, the senior counsel will not continue to be stressed more than what he has gone through. So I suggest that we take just some 15 minutes again for us to consult, and then we will resume.
No. Madam Chair, it is easier for us to go out. Let's just what the file summary.
This is 61.
Yes. Why have you placed this document before the Honorable Committee, sir?
I have placed this document before the committee to demonstrate that the alleged contract that give leeway or room for Africa, Western Capital African Datomite, to use the NSPMB infrastructure to display is GPC and the automatious material was signed or executed long before I assumed the office of Cabinet Secretary.
What is the date given on the face of the document?
The 1st March 2022.
Were you the Cabinet Secretary?
I was not.
On that date?
No.
To the best of your knowledge, sir, can you be dismissed from office for agreement signed before you took up that office?
If that was to happen, it would be very unfair. And by the way, even the current administration had not come to office. It's not only Mithika Linturi'S CS. Even the current administration.
So the entire
was not
Kenya Kwanza administration had not even come to office?
Yes.
You are accused, sir, through this document, of lying that this agreement was for a soil conditioner and not fertilizer. Does the word fertilizer appear anywhere in this agreement?
I've not seen any at all. And in that.
Lazima kamera yangu.
Ndio mtu anasema hapo Mombasa. Ndio mtu anasema hapo Mombasa.
Hapa. Ndio tunaenda na karudi. Muva ndiye amewaambia. Muva amecheki in. What is the national import?
Something is cooking.
Muva amecheki in.
Tuna nje pale tu.
Huyu anasema ameona mbali.
Tunataka tukamchokoze.
Twende. Cheza kibele. Twende. Twende nje bwana kwa. You want to find out. Kwani ulienda? Na sasa unakisi kama nini ilianza kitabu mpaka tena una break mara ya pili tena. Bonjo.
collection or last mile distribution?
We've been distributing fertilizer through the HPB infrastructure, and in the spirit of working together with the county governments, remembering the devolved function of agriculture and the need for us to work closely together because of also of their normal mandate of crop husbandry and the rest, we realized that farmers were having to travel long distances to get to the NSPB stores. So we had a meeting in February, on the 15th in Naivasha, where we called all the CECs, the County Executive Committee members of agriculture in all the counties, for us to agree on how to ensure that fertilizer is delivered to the nearest point possible within the country. That's when we asked them to has one station in every ward, so that NSPB, in conjunction or in collaboration with the county governments, will be able to share responsibility and ensure that those stores are provided by the county governments. We deliver the fertilizer there and the general infrastructure for redemption of fertilizer. That's what we call the last mile delivery.
To get you right, this last mile delivery includes working not only with NCPB but also private players, stockists?
No, currently that process involves the NSPB or the ministry working together with the county governments to ensure fertilizer is delivered to the nearest station or closest to the farmer. The matter how we want to do it more better in the future is because in this Kiami system, we've been able to map out agro dealers and stockists. Remember, we have a database and data of around 6.4 million. This is continuous. So when we map out these people into our system, we'll be able to have in future farmers going not necessarily to the NSPB store or KNTC store, but to any agro dealer in the country anywhere. And then by use of that voucher, you can pick your fertilizer from anywhere, and then the agro dealers or those stockists will be able to claim money from us, so that it becomes very easy to really get fertilizer even closer to the farmer himself, because we have registered above 17,000 agro dealers in the country and around 5,000 and above 5,000 stockists. So the whole infrastructure will avail a network of not less than 22,000 places where farmers can be able to get fertilizer. And you realize that will be really quite a number of places where farmers can access fertilizer in the future.
Thank you. Thank you, CS. Honorable Chair, at this point, I will give the floor to my friend Derek.
Honorable Chair, members of the committee, good afternoon. My name is Eric Mojoki, and I will ask the Honorable CS a few questions as a continuation of our examination in chief. Bwana CS, kindly confirm to the committee how many bags of fertilizer have already been distributed.
8 million for the 2024 long green season.
Thank you. And according to the motion, this is to be found on page 17. That is point number 18. how many bags are in contention as being substandard, according to the motion?
Which page?
Page 17, it might be page 18 of the motion. So point number XBII.
Around 3,000 bags.
So out of more than 3 million bags, the problem is only with, you said?
Around 3,000 bags, that's what this is.
Yes. Roughly that would be about what percentage?
It's 0.00 something.
Thank you. And let us go to the affidavit, the mover. That is on page 25, 26 of the motion.
Yes.
From that affidavit, on a CS, I want us to start from paragraph 2 of the affidavit. Please read the first 3 lines of paragraph 2.
That I have read and have no reason not to believe that the article published on 31st March 2022 by the Citizen Digital Online News Platform published an article titled National Serious Bond Enters into Manja, aimed at lowering fertilizer prices.
That's enough. Kindly read for us also the third paragraph.
That I have read and have no reason not to believe that the article published on Monday, 11th March 2024 by the Daily Nation newspaper online titled Government Confirms Distribution of Banned Fertilizers to Farmers
That's
by...
enough. Thank you. Paragraph 4, also the first 3 lines, please.
That I have read and have no reason not to believe that the article published on Saturday, 6th April 2024 by the Daily newspaper online titled Government Confirms Distribution of Banned Fertilizer to Farmers.
The next paragraph is paragraph
5.
please.
That I have read and have no reason not to believe that the article published on 2nd April 2024 by the African Report, an online magazine titled Kenyan Government Knowingly Supplying Fake Fertilizers to Farmers.
Thank you. Now, Panasias, from the affidavit of the mover, I want you to comment on this recurring theme of online blogs or online news articles.
Probably what I may say is that all the material and the reasons for alluded to in this motion are issues or reasons that have been raised out of online publications by either different bloggers or whatever source these are. And in my view, if we are to descend this level of using digital online publications from whoever writes from anywhere to impeach or to bring impeachment motions, then I think the country will be really being threatened to situations where I do not think any civilized democracy would want to really admit.
Thank you. And still looking at that affidavit, I want us to look at the last page of the affidavit. Who has sworn the affidavit?
Jack Wanami Wamboka.
Thank you. On what date?
23rd April 2024.
Who is the commissioner that has commissioned that affidavit?
The commissioner here is Brian Mandila Kahemba.
Thank you. And the affidavit itself is written that it is drawn by whom?
Brian Kahemba.
Thank you. And Panasias, from the previous question, you are a lawyer, and on top of that, you have considerable experience interacting with legal documents, probably because of the many cases you have interacted with. To the best of your knowledge, and bearing in mind the provisions of Section 4 of the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act, can an affidavit competently be commissioned by the same party that drew it?
My understanding and reading of Section 4 of the Oaths and Statutory Instrument Act is that you really cannot rely on an affidavit that has been drawn and commissioned at the same time by the said advocate. And I don't have to give the reasons.
Okay, I will refer you to a decision, to two decisions from our court. That is at page 216 of our affidavit. Stamp 216. And probably before we go to 216, we start with 214 for purposes of laying the basis.
214.
And when I say I'll refer you to paragraph 49, that is at the very bottom of that page. What is the issue in consideration there? Please read for us.
The next issue consideration is whether a commissioner for oaths can exercise the powers given under Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act in any proceedings or matter in which he or she is the advocate for any of the parties to the proceedings or concerned in the matter in which he or she is interested. The relevant law on this point is found under Section 4(1) of the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act, which provides...
You don't have to read that. I believe the Honorable Committee...
Presiding Chair. Council, did we agree that once you have set out the issue of fact, which the witness has ably responded, that a lawyer cannot draft and commission his own affidavit? Is it that enough for us? Can you trust that we also understand the law and will appreciate when you come to submission so that we make progress?
I am much guided, Mheshimiwa.
Let me comment on that particular matter as well, because I mentioned in the morning that when I'm being tried in the public court, given an opportunity to respond, I think it's only for me to respond appropriately. And the reason is...
Yes, with a lot of respect. With a lot of respect, we, in my view, at least speaking for myself, I have heard you, and that you also want to have your day and to make as much information as you can on these issues. But there are some issues which we can shorten for purposes of time, because those are legal issues and they are issues of consideration by the committee. So you are being led on evidence, and the only portion of evidence there is that a lawyer cannot commission his own affidavit. The other one is an issue for discussion by the committee and appreciation, so that we make progress.
I'm guided, Chair, but we really wanted the country to know why you cannot commission your own document, because it is required that you swear an oath before a commissioner or anybody who is competent.
That is true. Why you can say why, yes. Why is an issue of evidence which you can say.
I have finalized.
Perhaps...
Before you proceed, note that on the matter of defective affidavits, the select committee had made its ruling on this particular matter yesterday, and please do not continue to prosecute this matter any further.
Good question. I will ask one last question. Honorable CS, my final question to you is, what is your request? What is your appeal to this honorable committee?
Is to dismiss this motion with the contempt it deserves.
Thank you. Chair, we donate our remaining time, 1 hour and some seconds, to the committee.
Thank you so much. We now proceed to cross-examination for the next 1 hour.
Mile, good connection or last mile distribution?
You know, we've been distributing fertilizer through the HPB infrastructure, and in the spirit of working together with the county governments, remembering the devolved function of agriculture and the need for us to work closely together because of also of their normal mandate of crop husbandry and the rest, we realized that farmers were having to travel long distances to get to the NSPB stores. So we had a meeting in February, on the 15th in Naivasha, where we called all the CECs, the County Executive Committee members of agriculture in all the counties, for us to agree on how to ensure that fertilizer is delivered to the nearest point possible within the country. That's when we asked them to get has one station in every ward, so that NSPB, in conjunction or in collaboration with the county governments, will be able to share responsibility and ensure that those stores are provided by the county governments. We deliver the fertilizer there and the general infrastructure for redemption of fertilizer. That's what we call the last mile delivery.
To get you right, this last mile delivery includes working not only with NCPB but also private players, stockists?
No, currently that process involves the NSPB or the ministry working together with the county governments to ensure fertilizer is delivered to the nearest station or closest to the farmer. The matter how we want to do it more better in the future is because in this Kiami system, we've been able to map out agro dealers and stockists. Remember, we have a database and data of around 6.4 million. This is continuous. So when we map out these people into our system, we will be able to have in future farmers going not necessarily to the NSPB store or KNTC store, but to any agro dealer in the country anywhere. And then by use of that voucher, you can pick your fertilizer from anywhere, and then the agro dealers or those stockists will be able to claim money from us, so that it becomes very easy to really get fertilizer even closer to the farmer himself, because we have registered above 17,000 agro dealers in the country and around 5,000 and above 5,000 stockists. So the whole infrastructure will avail a network of not less than 22,000 places where farmers can be able to get fertilizer. And you realize that will be really quite a number of places where farmers can access fertilizer in the future.
Thank you. Thank you, CS. Honorable Chair, at this point I will give the floor to my friend Derek Gurek.
Honorable Chair, members of the committee, good afternoon. My name is Eric Mujeki, and I will ask the Honorable CS a few questions as a continuation or examination of the Chief. Bwana CS, kindly confirm to the committee how many bags of fertilizer have already been distributed.
8 million for the 2024 long green season.
Thank you. And according to the motion, this is to be found on page 17. That is point number 18. How many bags are in contention as being substandard, according to the motion?
Which page?
Page 17, it might be page 18 of the motion. Point number 8,
Around 3,000 bags.
So out of more than 3 million bags, the problem is only with, you said?
Around 3,000 bags, that's what this is.
Yes. Roughly that would be about what percentage?
It's 0.00 something.
Thank you. And let us go to the affidavit, the mover. That is on page 25, 26 of the motion.
Yes.
From that affidavit, on a CS, I want us to start from paragraph 2 of the affidavit. Please read the first 3 lines of paragraph 2.
That I have read and have no reason not to believe that the article published on 31st March 2022 by the Citizen Digital Online News Platform published an article titled National Serious Bond Enters into Manja, aimed at lowering fertilizer prices.
That's enough. Kindly read for us also the third paragraph.
That I have read and have no reason not to believe that the article published on Monday, 11th March 2024 by the Daily Nation newspaper online titled Government Confirms Distribution of Banned Fertilizers to Farmers.
That's enough. Thank you. Paragraph 4, also the first 3 lines, please.
That I have read and have no reason not to believe that the article published on Saturday, 6th April 2024 by the Daily newspaper online titled Government Confirms Distribution of Banned Fertilizers to Farmers.
The next paragraph is paragraph
5.
Please.
That I have read and have no reason not to believe that the article published on 2nd April 2024 by the African Report, an online magazine titled Kenyan Government Knowingly Supplying Fake Fertilizers to Farmers.
Thank you. Now, CS, from the affidavit of the mover, I want you to comment on this recurring theme of online blogs or online news articles.
Probably what I may say is that all the material and the reasons for alluded to in this motion are issues or reasons that have been raised out of online publications by either different bloggers or whatever source these are. And in my view, if we are to descend this level of using digital online publications from whoever writes from anywhere to impeach or to bring impeachment motions, then I think the country will be really being threatened to situations where I do not think any civilized democracy would want to really admit.
Thank you. And still looking at that affidavit, I want us to look at the last page of the affidavit. Who has sworn the affidavit?
Jack Wanami Wamboka.
Thank you. On what date?
23rd April 2024.
Who is the commissioner that has commissioned that affidavit?
The commissioner here is Brian Mandila Kahemba.
Thank you. And the affidavit itself is written that it is drawn by who?
Brian Kahemba.
Thank you. And Bwana CS, from the previous questioning, you are a lawyer, and on top of that, you have considerable experience interacting with legal documents, probably because of the many cases you have been tracked through. To the best of your knowledge, and bearing in mind the provisions of Section 4 of the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act, can an affidavit competently be commissioned by the same party that drew it?
My understanding and reading of Section 4 of the Oaths and Statutory Instrument Act is that you really cannot rely on an affidavit that has been drawn and commissioned at the same time by the same advocate. And I don't have to give the reasons.
Okay, I will refer you to a decision, to two decisions from our court. That is at page 216 of our affidavit. Stamp 216. And probably before we go to 216, we start with 214 for purposes of laying the basis.
214.
And when I say yes, I'll refer you to paragraph 49. That is at the very bottom of that page. What is the issue in consideration? That please read for us.
The next issue consideration is whether a commissioner for oaths can exercise the powers given under Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act in any proceedings or matter in which he or she is the advocate for any of the parties to the proceedings or concerned in the matter in which he or she is interested. The relevant law on this point is found under Section 4(1) of the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act, which provides.
You don't have to read that. I believe the Honorable Committee.
Presiding Chair.
Look at that.
Council, did we agree that once you have set out the issue of fact, which the witness has ably responded, that a lawyer cannot draft and commission his own affidavit? Is it that enough for us? Can you trust that we also understand the law and will appreciate when you come to submission so that we make progress?
I am much guided, Mheshimiwa.
Let me comment on that particular matter as well, because I mentioned in the morning that when I'm being tried in the public court, given an opportunity to respond, I think it's only for me to respond appropriately. And the reason is...
Yes, with a lot of respect. With a lot of respect, we, in my view, at least speaking for myself, I have heard you, and that you also want to have your day and to make as much information as you can on these issues. But there are some issues which we can shorten for purposes of time, because those are legal issues and they are issues of consideration by the committee. So you are being led on evidence, and the only portion of evidence there is that a lawyer cannot commission his own affidavit. The other one is an issue for...
Well, probably let me put it this way, just to make things easier for you and me. When you heard that things had gone wrong in the ministry,
when I heard?
Yeah, that something had gone wrong in the ministry.
I did not hear of anything wrong that has gone in the ministry.
That there was fake fertilizer. When you heard that there was fake fertilizer, yeah, that had been sold and so on.
I did not convene any meeting.
You did not convene. There was fake fertilizer that had been sold to farmers. Did you take any steps at all?
Of course, as a responsible cabinet secretary, when that matter came to my attention, and bearing in mind the relationship I've had with my farmers, because I've been in the farms with them, I took it upon myself to order for investigations.
Yeah. Now, speak a bit loudly so that the honorable members can hear what you say. Would you be kind enough to tell the honorable members what you did after that? What steps you took? What happened?
We asked for investigations.
I mean yourself personally. You tell me what steps you took as a cabinet secretary.
Of course, when the matter arose, and
who are you? I don't understand you. Excuse me. Please don't understand me. Who are you? I'm cross-examining. Who are you? Hello, would you go and sit down?
This is one of my lawyers.
No, this is not the work of a lawyer. Could you go and sit down, please? I'm cross-examining you. Could you go and sit down? We don't do things like that in a courtroom or elsewhere at all. Now, could you tell...
Senior counsel, orders come from the chair. When you are here, you are representing your client. Just know that you are not here to instruct people and give orders. And we have given you a lot of respect, senior counsel.
May I ask you, or is it proper for you to stand there as a lawyer? It is never done anywhere.
Senior counsel, yesterday...
You are the one presiding. Is it proper for a lawyer to stand like when I'm asking questions? Is this proper? With a book and so on? Is it proper? I mean, I want to learn something from you. I want to learn something from you. I'm always learning things.
I'm saying you have to raise any issue you want to raise through the chair.
Yes.
And it is the chair to order.
Yeah, well guided.
But it should not come from you.
Yeah, well guided. Thank you. Well guided. Yeah. Now, would you be kind enough just to explain to the honorable members what steps you took, what you did when you came to learn that the materials that have been furnished or supplied by way of fertilizers were substandard or were fake. What did you do? Just explain in detail, please. I'll keep quiet.
When a matter is raised of that magnitude, you responsibly ask. I asked in my office to investigate the matter, and so that we would really know what the problem was. This matter came to my attention. I was out of the country, and when I spoke, to my PS, I asked him to really move into action and really direct that administratively, and because it is within his domain, to liaise with the National Cereals and Produce Board for us to be able to ensure, in the event that the complaint was genuine, then farmers do not get that batch of fertilizer that under problem, and for that matter, it was to stop the distribution until proper tests as and directed to confirm the composition of the fertilizers were ascertained, so that, because that was what was to guide us moving forward, which he did, and we stopped the distribution of the NPK 10-26-10 fertilizer, as we ordered for investigations and directed that farmers that were planting be given alternative fertilizer, as we were trying to conduct investigations to know whether the allegation was true.
Anything in your power steps?
No, that's what we did. That is what you asked me to do. That's the question you asked, which I've answered. That is what we did.
I'm trying to be very fair to you, Cabinet Secretary. Is there anything else that you did after, any further steps that you did? Did you convene departmental meetings, or did you do everything else?
I know that I also asked that our different labs, because we have Kenya's certified laboratories, one that is run by the Kenya Health Plant Inspectorate Service and CALRO. These are the supporting agencies that support my ministry to further undertake those tests on the fertilizer that was within that batch, and be able to report to me. That's what I did.
Have you finished?
Yes, I have.
You didn't think that as a Cabinet Secretary, you should have a word with your Principal Secretary?
I said when I was out of the country and the matter arose, we spoke. So that I understand.
What steps did you take?
And
I've asked you a very simple question. When you came back, what steps did you take in order to arrest the problem of the fake fertilizers?
I sent, we discussed with the peers, we stopped the distribution, and I also directed that samples be taken to KEFIS and CALRO for analysis. That's what I did.
Now, in your ministry, you have a number of departments. sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, my lady. Oh, this one. Oh, thank you. You're familiar with this order, executive order number 2 of 2023. Are you familiar with it? Now this order of executive order of 2023, you're familiar with it? Yeah, I'm trying to look for your ministry of agriculture. Yeah, if you could show me. Could you show me Ministry of Agriculture here? I'm asking you respectfully. Can you show me the Ministry of Agriculture? I'm telling you that could you go through and show me where the Ministry of Agriculture is?
But I'm asking, are you suggesting it's not here?
Yeah. Could you look at page 49? Page 49.
Very good, I am there.
You have seen it.
I'm just trying to peruse it, just give me a minute. Yes.
You have seen it. That's good. Now, you are, of course, if I may ask you a very simple question, you are the one in charge of the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development.
Yes.
Yeah. And there are a number of institutions in the ministry, a number of departments and etc. in the ministry, and you are the one who was and who is overall in charge. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm in charge of policy direction.
Yeah, you are in charge of the policy directions. Yes. Now, is there anything else that you would suggest to the honorable members of what you do apart from the policy directions? Is there anything else that you do?
Of course, I formulate, present, and articulate cabinet memoranda, initiation, sessional papers, and other policy issues of the ministry. I respond to questions in Parliament as provided for and Article 153 of the Constitution, and or any other function that is delegated to me by the President.
By any other functions that is delegated to you by the President. There is an institution known as the National Cereals and Produce Board. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, under you.
Yes.
And it has a managing director.
Yes.
Yes. Now, these fake fertilizers concern the National Cereals and Produce Board. Am I correct or not correct? The fake fertilizers concern which institution in the department, in the ministry?
When you look at my evidence, I want to agree. National Cereals and Produce Board
Yes.
is a a saga within my ministry.
It is what?
A state, a semi-autonomous agency
Yes.
in my ministry.
Yes.
With an accounting officer.
Yes.
With MD.
Yes.
Formed by an act of parliament.
Yes.
With its responsibilities.
Yes.
To the extent that I do for NSPB is to appoint members of the board to run that institution. And the MD, you are vacant.
The managing director is appointed by you.
Is appointed by the minister.
Yeah, you're the one who appoints the managing director.
By law, I'm the one supposed to appoint the manager on recommendation of the board.
Yeah, you're the one who does the appointment. Now, the fertilizers concern the national cereals and produce board. Is that correct, or am I wrong?
What do you mean by concerned?
Now, the fertilizers fell under which institution in your ministry?
The National Cereals and Produce Board is the one that advertised for purchase of fertilizer.
The National
for Cereals and Produce Board,
it's the one
and we
that
took you through attend advert.
Yes.
And they procured fertilizer on behalf of government.
Yes. Now, when the issue of fake fertilizer came up, did you have a word with the managing director? Did you have a meeting with him?
Of course, when this thing happened, I had a meeting with him. I wanted to know what had really had gone wrong. Because the first thing I wanted to understand was whether he had actually taken my instructions, which I had given on the 20th of December, that before supply of any fertilizer by any supplier, then those suppliers should have complied with the directive of filing the chemical compensation of the fertilizers that were meant to be acquired by them, depending on what category each of them being that's one. Yes.
About how many meetings did you have with the managing director?
I do meetings with my MDs.
No, this is,
they can
we're
come.
doing the fertilizers. I'm interested in the fertilizers.
Then
about
the qualification should have been how many meetings to discuss fertilizer. I may not remember how and how many, because this is a matter that I even appeared with him in Parliament. And there is also meetings that I would call for him to brief me on the distribution schedules and the program that they had put in place so that our farmers are not were not inconvenienced. So I've had a number of meetings with him.
Okay, what did he tell you had happened regarding the fake fertilizers? What did he tell you?
What the information I got from him was that, contrary to what was out there, there was an issue within a batch of around 3,000 bags which did not comply with the agreed standards. That was the only issue.
What else did he say to you?
And that's what that is what he sent.
Yeah. Did you find that there was something that he should have done and he did not do?
Of course, looking at what I had asked him to do, and looking at the tender advert, the specs, because the tender document was clear that complied to certain KEPS standards, and he had given out the award to the tenderers. Then it was the responsibility of the supplier really to conform to the standards and the quality that was agreed between them and Kenya Bureau, between them and National Cereals and Produce Board.
So you did not find anything wrong with him at all? He had done his job properly. Is that correct?
As far as the tendering process was done, exercised his mandate as the accounting officer. There is nothing that time which I had to imagine or to believe that he had not done what he was required to do by law. And in any case, some of the fertilizers we are talking about and were being distributed to the farmers, if that information, which I highly regret, about that batch did not come to our attention, probably would not have known.
So far as you are concerned, there is nobody within your ministry who can be blamed for anything regarding the fact.
In the Ministry of Agriculture?
Nobody.
Nobody in the Ministry of Agriculture.
Nobody within the Ministry of Agriculture.
Nobody in the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development can be blamed.
Can be blamed?
Yes. That's what I believe.
That's the conclusion you came to?
That is what I believe, and unless you prove me to the contrary, because just like we trying to demonstrate, these institutions, they are semi-autonomous, they are institutions being guided by or created by law, they are institutions that have accounting officers, and wherein the application of public money must comply with the requirements of the Public Procurement and Disposal Act. And anyone who directly or indirectly has no responsibility under the law may not be blamed for it, but those people whose responsibility on procurement is vested on them, then are the people that are supposed to be answerable.
And according to you, that's why the managing director continues to work. He has not been disciplined in any way at all.
The managing director is not in office, and the board met last week. They suspended him. The board suspended him last week.
Why?
I have not yet perused the letter or the minutes of that board discussion, because it happened again when I was not around. But I think probably for them to get an opportunity to investigate and understand the circumstances surrounding this whole procurement of the fertilizer that we are distributing to farmers.
Has he been suspended because of the fertilizers or not?
I'm saying, because I have not looked at the reasons advanced by the board, because generally when they meet or when they propose to make changes to the board, they are supposed to do a communication to me. The member, I think, is only tied to have communication done in writing. So, and until I have been served or have been notified of that in writing, all these other stories out there is something I will not really want to cling to. But because of our responsibility to tell the country the truth and the status of the issues as I know them, that's why I'm telling you, as we sit here this afternoon or this evening, the Managing Director of National Cereals and Produce Board is not in office.
When was he suspended?
I'm saying sometime last week.
Last week?
Yes.
And you haven't found out why he was suspended at all?
I'm telling him that, our main job of ensuring fertilizer gets the farmers. And especially at this time, we are top dressing and especially at this time when I want to remedy the situation of the number of the farmers that allegedly did not get the right standard fertilizer. I need to be actively involved in curing that problem, because it's a problem that we believe we can be able to cure, because like I said before, that the standards that were agreed on this fertilizer, the fertilizer that is the subject of this debate, is the 10-26-10. And because the preliminary findings about this, and this is why I have not associated myself with anyone fake, is because my scientists or my advisors and the labs, I'm told, have established that there is deficiency in the amount of nitrogen or phosphorus or potassium in the fertilizer. So when you have less nitrogen in the fertilizer, then if you are required to do 10 and you have done 8%, you are less by 2 percentage points, then makes me now start thinking, yes, we may have applied the nutrients in that fertilizer were not enough. And because they were not enough and plants have already grown, the best thing is to do is remedy the situation at the second phase, and this message you are dealing to farmers to really add more fertilizer that has nitrogen during top dressing.
Let me ask another question. At the time you had this fake fertilizers, was the managing director was being suspended in office? Did he participate in the process?
The MD is the one that oversaw the procurement of the fertilizer. That responsibility is vested on him.
Yes.
To do it.
And he's the one who participated in the process.
He managed the process because the money went to NSPB, and just like we showed, we have an organizational structure that shows how NSPB is governed.
By the way, these fertilizers were to be imported, is that correct?
I think for purposes of...
the fertilizers were to be imported, is that correct?
Kenya does not produce fertilizer.
Yes.
I think it is important to let the country know. Kenya does not produce fertilizer because we do not have the necessary raw material for production of fertilizer, so most of our fertilizer is imported.
Yes. So what His Excellency William Samoei Ruto said about him recently is correct. Can you look at this?
Saying about who?
Just read it. Speak it loudly. Could you read it loudly, please?
I think this is wherever you've found or you've downloaded this one from, and this must have happened probably today, which I'm not sure, because as we sit here,
it happened today. You seem not to be aware, but I think
I'm saying it happened today.
Yeah.
I am the Minister for Agriculture and Livestock Development. I opened this forum on the Africa Fertilizer and Soil Health Summit, and today was the presidential day for the African presidents and everybody else.
Yeah.
So, and if this is what the president said, I associate myself completely with his sentiment, because saying Africa must work towards securing affordable, quality, and accessible fertilizers through local manufacturing. For us to be able to get fertilizer, we must encourage investors. We must have people producing fertilizers locally. We must bring or create incentives for the country to manufacture fertilizer. So I agree with my boss completely that this would not have even come at a better time than today, when the presidents of Africa and other participating dignitaries were at KICC, when I'm here discussing the African fertilizer and soil health in our country.
Now, you have said that there is no nexus between what happened and yourself. You still maintain that position?
There's none at all.
Hmm?
None at all.
Yeah. Why you not the one who was responsible for, as a minister for agriculture, to make sure that we had good fertilizers, not fake fertilizers?
I think I exercised my, indeed, and I take my work very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did, or what I was trying to do when I wrote that letter, which is in my affidavit on page 367, you can see for yourself that I didn't exercise caution, even to direct that people must supply fertilizer that is of good quality. Secondly, I also want to mention there is no nexus, because you just shown me the executive order that provides my office. If you look at the affidavit, my affidavit, and especially paragraph 6, outlines the work that I'm supposed to do as a minister. When you look at the procurement law, we have clearly showed you on demonstrated where there is function of procurement, or who should bear responsibility on gaps or errors of omission or commission in regard to procurement should lie. So there is completely no nexus between me and the purchase of the fertilizer, and I do not have the capacity to direct any procuring entity or any cell within my ministry to do anything in regard to procurement.
Cabinet Secretary, the money that was going to be spent on fertilizers was colossal. 5 billion shillings. Is that correct?
No, you are wrong.
How much of it?
Let me guide you.
No, I'm asking you how much of it.
No, let me tell you.
No, I'm asking you the figure. I'm just interested in the figure.
I am telling you, you are wrong, and the correct amount of fertilizer that we are, the amount of taxpayers' money we are spending in the year 2024 in the budget.
The fake ballot.
We have only 2 months to the budget, to close of the year. We are spending around 12 billion.
12?
Yes, 12 billion.
12
Up
billion.
to that year, June, yes.
Yeah,
Yes, that's the budget. So it's not 5.
That was a lot of
That
money.
is the investment and the commitment that this government has put into money to deliver food in this country and to realize the food agenda. So it's not as little money.
Okay.
And that's how William Ruto is serious in feeding the country.
Yes. Cabinet Secretary, 12 billion shillings is a lot of money for a poor country. Is that correct?
We have to spend that. We must invest in agriculture to transform this country,
Yes.
to make, agriculture is the source of raw material for manufacturing. We must feed ourselves. We must reduce our import budgets on edible oils. This is serious. And that's why that's why government is supporting production against the consumption. I agree with you, it's not little money.
My simple question, it is a colossal sum of money, 12 billion shillings.
It depends on what the money is supposed to be doing. I am still insisting. I will be appealing to this honorable house, this parliament, to add more money to agriculture, because I don't believe it's properly funded.
But could you answer my question? In the present context, in the present circumstances, 12 billion shillings is a lot of money.
When you look at our production vis-a-vis our investment, you realize 12 million shillings compared, 12 billion shillings compared to what we are producing a country has been properly spent.
Yes. Now, you as the minister in charge, you must have put up a case within government circles for this amount of money to be assigned to your ministry for fertilizer.
Yes.
You took an interest.
Yes, we want more money to come to
you
agriculture.
You took an interest in this amount of money, 12 billion shillings. Did you take any steps to ensure that it was well spent?
I defend budgets in Parliament. When we get money, the responsibility or accounting responsibility is vested in the Principal Secretary. I'm not the accounting officer of the ministry.
Did you, as a man in charge, take an interest to make sure that the money was being spent?
I have a very competent Principal Secretary, and because I have a competent Secretary and the President exercised his mind and discretion to give me officers to work with who know what their responsibilities are, and I've not had any doubt at all on the capacity of my peers to deal with the issues of accountability. I do not have any reason to doubt them. Secondly, let me also say that the ministry is audited. The Public Accounts Committee oversights our ministries. And since the oversight function is exercised by Parliament, then I think where there is a mistake or if where money is not properly spent, there could be adverse reports on change of ministry.
Let me ask you an alternative.
So my money is properly spent.
This particular 12 billion shillings, was it well spent? The answer is either yes or no.
The 12 million, the
12 billion shillings, was it well spent?
The year is not even over. I've even given you a budget for the year or what we even intend to spend.
Now,
so it is premature.
How much money did you spend on the fake fertilizers?
We did not spend any money on fake fertilizer.
How much money did you spend?
We have not spent any money on fake fertilizer.
You did not?
No. Spent any money. We did not advertise to buy fake fertilizer. NCPB did not apply to purchase fake fertilizer.
Is it?
Yeah. Why is the application? I've shown you the adverts for adverts to bidders to apply to sell fertilizer to the country. There is no single line on this advert that shows we applied for sale of fake fertilizer.
I'm referring to fake fertilizers that this committee is looking into, is investigating.
I don't think this committee is looking into fake fertilizer, unless you've not understood what is before this committee. And I'm sorry, and respectively say that this committee is investigating a motion presented by the member for Mula to get me out of office. Is not investigating fake fertilizer.
So can I say, why was the member of Parliament, why did he tender the motion for you to get you out of your cabinet secretary?
I think he knows better because there are 3 violations of the Constitution.
Is it not because you did not do your job properly?
I will leave this to the committee to determine whether indeed my job or not. Because I think we demonstrated where the ministry was, where we've taken the ministry during my short stay as the cabinet secretary, and you can see that nobody is out in the streets with any sufuria on his hand or anybody complaining about hunger, and I think we've done quite well. It is, in my view, honestly, we've done something. The mistake that may have arisen because a crooked manufacturer either Of course, I would not want to imagine it was willingly, because in normal manufacturing processes, errors may arise in the course of manufacturing, and there was that batch which has really created this seed, which I say I really regret as a minister, and which we're trying to correct, cannot really be the basis of assuming a national government project that is over 99% successful. I would really not want to present a situation where we declare such a successful project or play around with it without even really understanding the effect that this has to our farmers. Because when we applied, we appealed to farmers to listen to us, and the government was going to support them with inputs and anything else that was required. These farmers listened to us, and I really respect my farmers in the country, which have even managed to register to the tune of 6.4 million within 1.5 years, and now are able to give us maize to the tune of 67 million bags in a year. And I think it's also fair also to mention the Department of Agriculture goes beyond maize. Because if we were to give our achievements in the tea sector, the last time the kind of bonus we paid to our tea farmers, because we also gave them subsidized fertilizer, the returns were enormous. I can also tell you from here, the bonus we are going to declare this year to the tea farmers will be money that has not been achieved, or targets that have not been achieved in the history of this country. So let people really take our apologies for that small error which we have tried to deal with, where we have already gotten out to really ensure that these mistakes do not arise in the future, and really accept us or give us the opportunity to really work together with every like-minded Kenyan to address the problems that confront this country. Because we have a duty to develop Kenya as responsible citizens. If we were to get the politics out of all this matter, we would have done very well, because at least a lot of farmers appreciate the good work we are doing, and that era we also regret it. And I would invite anybody else here to join this bandwagon of farmers and assist us in grow our food. Because I think if I have gone out of this country a number of times paid by the taxpayer to address conferences out there discussing the issue of food and nutritional security. It is not a very good corner to be in, begging for support. We applied where we were giving licenses for people to employ, to bring food from Kenya. Some countries refused to allow imports from their countries because they were faced with hunger. So that should tell you, if we are not food sufficient as a country, the risk is huge. So let's not really take this matter so lightly. Let us, each one of us, be able to contribute towards really putting some food on the table for our country, to reduce the amount of money we pay outside in bringing food commodities that we can be able to produce in Kenya.
I put it to you that you are where we are at the moment because you did not do your job properly.
I think that is laughable, because honestly, from my defense, when you look at the motion as was presented, there is nowhere that the iota of evidence has been provided to demonstrate how incapable or incompetent
I put it to you, colossal sum of money was spent, and you are aware of this amount of money, and the country did not get anything out of the money at all. Instead, we had spec fertilizer.
We played the video evidence, and you appreciate. I don't know whether you come from Western in Bugoma, farmers from Grema appreciating the fertilizer, Kericho, Washingishu, other different parts of the country.
They do what?
Appreciating the transformation.
Cabinet Secretary, I put it to you that you are lying. People are complaining that you have not done your job properly.
You know, it's normal for
Cabinet Secretary, I put it to you. Look at me in my eyes. 149 members, yeah, look at me in my face. 149 members of Parliament voted against you, that you had not done your job properly.
I don't think it's proper, because the motion that was before the National Assembly was not about my competence, or whether or no, was it about no confidence, but was a motion to determine whether the mover of the motion and acquired the requisite numbers required by the Constitution to form this committee to investigate this matter. So that is not the position.
Cabinet Secretary, I put it to you, there is an outcry in the whole country, particularly in the farming community, that you have been very ineffective and you should actually go back home.
That can only be an imagination in your mind.
Senior Counsel, be concluding. You have 2 minutes.
This is my learned friend, Asha, would like to say one or two things. Asha, come.
Aisha, you have 1 minute and 47 seconds.
I'll be very brief. Cabinet Secretary, check your bundle of documents, page 5. Page 5 of your bundle of documents. You stipulated the duties of a cabinet secretary, right? Page 5 of your bundle. It is turned to page 6. It provides the duties of a cabinet secretary, right? What does part E read? Kindly read for us. Part E, this one.
Appoint board members of public institutions falling under the ministry and the state departments in consultation with the executive office of the president in accordance with their respective enabling statutes.
Thank you very much. So according to what you've written there, you're responsible for the appointment. Kindly go to the bundle of there is a Food and Fertilizers Act to the bundle that we filed. I don't know if you have it. I might give it to you.
It was not anywhere in part of the reasons for this motion.
Yes, but I'm just asking because it is part of your responsibility. Have you ever come across?
Show me where is it?
Appointing board members of public institutions. Whose mandate is it? That's the question I just want you to ask.
I appoint members of the board.
Thank you.
Council, your time is up. Thank you.
Thank you. He's answered what I wanted.
Madam Chair, if I may
Yes, Honorable
I
Wamboka.
may plead on behalf of my council. Could you add 5 minutes to conclude her?
Honorable Wamboka, we will not be able to do that because we have a lot to finish before the end of the day. Thank you.
Just 5 minutes. She was on that point. What she wants to raise is just on that point. Nothing.
Consult with your council, please.
Honorable Chair, we have no questions to the witness in re-exam.
Honorable Wamboka, have you consulted? Because I was receiving different signals.
We may proceed.
Let us proceed to re-examining.
And Honorable Chair, we are happy to confirm we have no questions and re-examine.
Thank you so much. May I now allow the members, for any members of this committee, if you have any clarification, any input, we can now do it. Honorable TJ.
Bwana Minister, just a few clarifications. Perhaps where the council left.
Bwana CS, we will, sorry, Honorable TJ. Bwana CS, we will do 3 questions or, 3 members. And we agreed 2, which equals 2 minutes. Let us stick to that, please. And then the minister will respond. Then we will call on others.
Chair, could you give me three questions in a row?
Allowed.
Thank you. 3 questions. One on the area of fertilizers and animal foodstuffs. I need this to be clear. People have talked about it to and fro. I think it is fair that you need to have an opportunity to speak about it clearly so that it is disposed. Could you show the minister, that young counsel, you can come back. Could you show the minister the fertilizer and animal foodstuffs, if you have? I think if you have it. No, I'm sure he can show you quickly so that don't take time. Yeah, so quickly, yeah, so this is one area of the questions on fertilizer and animal foodstuffs. CS, you can see that this act, although it's revised in 2022, but the amendments are 2015. The amendments, if you just see under the recital of the act, date of commencement, then the recital, you can see that these amendments, the 2A, 2B, 2C, and all those, are as a result of Act number 20, 2015. Right? Meaning that they have been in force since 2015. And you considered, I think, if I listened to what you responded, that this board has not been constituted, but it is work in progress. I want to understand that close to 9 years, this is work in progress. Close to 9 years. This is work in progress. And as you are going to answer that, again on the same act, you can see that the functions of the board that is 2B, and this 2B functions on the board, blah blah, promote collaboration of stakeholders in the agriculture industry. Right. Okay, just a minute. Advise the national government and county government on procurement, establishment, and development of policies related to fertilizer. I'm just trying to see, there is a point in which it says that it is talking about the distribution of subsidized fertilizer very directly. Do you confirm that if this was effectively operationalized, if this act for 9 years was effectively operationalized, then this would be the correct procedure to follow, either in procurement, distribution, or anything else around fertilizer subsidy, just in case it was operationalized for 9 years. Is that correct?
I think, Chair, that the board would have taken over the function of acquisition or purchase of fertilizer.
Why don't you think so?
Because in the current setup, or the way we are, the way we've been procuring fertilizer, has been through through the NSPB.
Would you please look at 2BA?
But 2BA. What I'm saying is that if, and I said, and I want to admit, because this is something I mentioned, because we cannot argue over what the functions of the board are as provided by the law, and we must deal with the law as is. It's for the committee to appreciate why the board has not been formed and at what stage we are in the process of implementation.
Yes, I understand that it is work in progress.
Of the Act.
I understand that it is work in progress, and I appreciate. I respect that. But all I'm asking, if you look at 2BA, to regulate the fertilizers and animal foodstuffs industry in Kenya, including the production, manufacture, packaging, importation, marketing of fertilizer and animal foodstuffs. Why would you think that if this act was not operationalized, in the course of 9 years that this act has been available, that it would then take the issue of manufacture, production, procurement, distribution, and everything else concerning the subsidized fertilizer?
You see, the business of fertilizer production, just like I have said, is business that we've not, or companies have not set up in Kenya. With the broad mandate of the company, of the board, probably we would get value by the board trying to participate in the licensing of people that are participating in fertilizer business.
All right, thank you.
Either stockists
that's okay.
or importers.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that those people that are bringing in fertilizer are not licensed, or fertilizer of bad quality come in. And Chair, please, if you may allow me, remind the member that this law has been there. We've been trying to implement other sections of different laws in the ministry. When I said it's work in progress, is because we've already, those discussions have commenced. A task force report has been prepared. It has proposed the organizational structure of this board. And don't also forget, we are currently, because it's a new administration, Mheshimiwa, that we are faced with serious financial challenges, and our position as government is even to collapse some of the sagas of the institutions so that we can have a lean, effective government and see how we can save money and be able to apply in development. This has really gotten us back, but the process has commenced. It's an advanced stage. Probably we have already asked the Director Crops and Director Agriculture, Crops Development, Director Veterinary Services, in the meantime, to assume the responsibilities and make sure that this is happening. That's why you find, even in the PS, did appoint a committee, a fertilizer committee to check on these things.
Well done. Well explained.
We are trying to do our best.
Well explained, CS. But just attached to it, could you please help CS to see the Cereals Board Act? The Cereals Board Act, I think it is also part of...
Point of order, Chair. Chair, point of order.
Yes. Yes, Mayor.
Thank you, Chair. I think as we are starting this session, you had given direction that there will be 3 questions, 2 minutes. He asked for 3 minutes, but I don't know whether that order was at one time vacated or we are still within the 3 minutes. Thank you.
I think I will ignore that. Now, look at
Honorable
Cereals.
Honorable Kajwang, you cannot ignore that.
But Chair, everybody sees I'm struggling, and the CS is explaining, which is his right to explain and to take as much time as he wants, because it is his right to explain. My question took less than 5 seconds, but yes, he's entitled to explain even in 20 minutes if he wants.
But
I can't control the explanation.
Remember, we agreed that we will ask 2 questions. You asked for 3, and I said okay, and we will allow 3 members to ask so that the CS can respond. Kindly let us go back to that, and then we proceed. Honorable,
that is exactly what I'm doing. You see, no, Chair. Look, everybody knows in this room that I'm asked a small question. But the CS, in his own wisdom, and he has the right to do so, can answer as long as he takes. That doesn't shorten my time. But anyway, let me go to the second one. And look, CS, I'm just trying to understand a few issues. Would you please assist him in seeing the produce, the NCCB Act?
Which page of the motion?
Specifically the functions. The functions. You find it in the bundle prepared by the Secretariat.
On a point of order, you now have a lot of respect to Honorable PJ Kajwang. You know, when we say ask questions, you don't cross-examine the witness. Ask the questions, then allow another member to ask the question, another member, then the minister or the CS then responds to the questions. I thought that is the direction we've been taking in all the cases. You know, it's unfair for TJ to dismiss Honorable Tangaza. I ordinarily don't speak, but you know, when I know what are my rights, it is not right.
The National Cereals and Produce Board is on page 429 to 443, the bundle prepared by the Secretariat. You got it? Volume 4. Page 429. 429. 429. Yes, you've seen it, and the function, the powers of the functions are on section 4. All right. CS, I just want you to see the entire section of 4. It is 1 and 2.
And because this is not the beginning, this body has been there, and I believe...
Thank you, Chair. I mean, CS, that's okay. If you find it later on, you can let me know. If in the process you find an authority for NCPB to let me know, your lawyers could be helping you. Now, Chair, the last question is this. Your lawyer, your counsel led you to the issue of Davesh Kells chemicals. You remember that charge sheet which your advocate brought to your attention? No, there is a charge sheet which your advocate talked about. You remember that?
That is...
That's so?
It is not true.
No.
My advocate did not make reference to any charge sheet related to Davesh. He made reference to a charge sheet that on account of a case of fraud.
No. Yeah. The charge sheet which is just a few days old.
No, it's for Naomi.
No, not that one.
It's the one. He did not make reference to any other. I don't remember.
I think counsel helped him to see that charge sheet around. Yeah, that one. Forget about this other one. Yeah, that charge sheet. Yeah. And my notes are saying that I am not aware of anything which would hinder Davesh from coming to testify. Now, I need to understand there is an allegation which is made on the petition, on the motion, to the extent that the minister may or may have not used his powers by closing the factory and so on. and then that the minister may or may have not caused a press conference. Is it true that you asked or you called Davesh to a press conference, which when he did not appear, then you exercised ministerial powers to arbitrarily close his factory?
Chairman, I want to be understood. And since this, I will make a comment on this because it's in my bundle. But it must go on record that my lawyer did not make reference to this document. But for whatever word it is, I want to say that I only about the claim of people being coerced to make statements in the media and in the letter that was attached by the mover of the motion from the letter from the farm of Abdullahi. I am aware that the charge sheet that is in this document is a proof that when the agreed standard of fertilizer that was meant to be procured by NSPB fell short of the standard that was required, and we ordered for investigations, and of course we respect independent institutions. Then after the investigations, the office of DCI, with of course the recommendations from the DPP, directed that this gentleman be charged with the offenses that are mentioned here. I'm giving this information because I think I've undertook also to make full disclosure of what has happened, but that does not shift the burden of proof to my hand, because whoever is alleging has that responsibility.
He was arrested and arraigned for plea when Parliament had already expressed or already voted on a motion to select this committee. Is that correct?
I don't know.
No. You can check from the charge sheet, the date of the charge sheet. It is there. The date of arrest is in that document. The date of arraignment is in that document. I think it is 6th. Date of apprehension is in that document.
I think this is not true, but if I also may refer to this, you realize the date of commission of offense is not on 6th. So the fact that the Parliament is debating the matter cannot stop an investigating agency from doing or carrying out its mandate on account of what is happening in Parliament. So that is probably what I would want to say for now.
Okay. Honorable Manyo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Chair. Yeah, I was going through this bundle and I saw on paragraph 28 of the affidavit by the CS where he acknowledges different committees. Can I wait for you or I continue as you? Paragraph 28, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you acknowledge different committees in the procurement process. I just wanted to know what is the legal basis of the letter dated on 20th on page 367 or
Put me to spin to understand which part of my affidavit you are referring to.
It's on paragraph 28.
Which page?
I think your counsel will help.
No, you are the one that's making reference respectively to that particular part of my submission. And what I am reading or finding here is different.
Okay. So I hope I'll have more minutes to help out. Paragraph 28.
Well, I give you time to prepare yourself and
I'm okay.
no, just I'll give you time.
Thank you.
I'll give you time. Just prepare yourself and then I'll come back to you. Honorable Malulu. Members ask 2 questions and the CS will respond after 3 honorable members will raise their questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll raise only one question. We have a number of letters that were done by the PS. Your PS Rono. I just want to confirm if you are aware of these letters and informed of the content. Some of them do not bear your signature. Page 62. Page 262 on volume 2. I don't know if that's what you have. Yeah. Yeah. So we have preparations for the 2024 long range. Though it does not bear your signature, at least what I have. Are you aware of those letters? There are about 6 of them.
I'm aware, Chair, that...
and informed of the content.
Yes, I'm aware that the PS, in the performance of his accounting function...
not for you to explain. You are aware and informed of the contents and you have no problem.
Yes, this letter, which is not signed, of course, I take cognizance of the fact that even if it doesn't have the signature, at least the first page, I'm aware that 8.5 billion for purchase of fertilizer was provided for and they required to buy.
All of them?
No, let's go letter by letter.
Okay.
The letter for 1st December, I'm not aware about this one. Because you can even see it is not copied to me. So I'm not aware about this letter.
Okay. So, do you agree with it or?
Pardon?
Do you agree with what you say as you are yes? The one for 1st of December 2023?
Whether I agree or not?
Yeah, because it's your PS.
I am not comfortable with this letter, Chair, because it's not verifiable and it's not copied to me. If probably I'd seen it earlier, maybe I would have thought different.
Okay. So, thank you.
Honorable Yusuf. Honorable CS.
Yes, sir.
I want to refer you to a bundle 361, page 361.
361.
there is an agreement dated at 1st March 2022. Yes. And you have confirmed to this committee that there is no word fertilizer in this agreement. Yes, I've not seen anywhere. Can you see the, number 9 indemnity and read for us for the committee, please? Number 9 indemnity, page 364.
The principal agrees to indemnify the agent and keep indemnified against all third-party action claims which may be suffered or incurred by the buyer arising from the quality of the fertilizer supplied to the agent by the principal under this contract, including matters touching on intellectual property, blah, blah, blah.
Number 2, my other question. You have submitted a budget on June 2023 for 12 billion.
To ensure that the investigative agencies, after finalizing the investigations, found that this gentleman under case to answer, and because of that failure to exercise serious diligence on this particular matter, the MD, the legal officer, the procurement officer became a victim of this investigation, and they are facing various charges before courts of law, and that is the maximum I would have done as a cabinet secretary.
Lastly, in the same letter or the agreement, when you appeared in one of the allegations of the Honorable Wamboka, I don't know which page, he claimed that you have made an allegation that what 51 capital was to supply was soil moisturizer, I don't know, something like that. The question is there any word of soil moisturizer in that agreement? Well, soil condition.
I send and get advice from my officers, and there is likelihood of being to believe or to take advice, and especially on an area that should not really will not claim to be very much technically qualified in to take that advice. So whatever items are listed under page 362, and especially paragraph, if I may use the one paragraph 13, the items that were allowed, and from the explanation I got, these were supposed to have been soil conditioners. So I did not lie. You mislead me as a cabinet secretary, and I realize there is an error. I take administrative action and disciplinary action against the officer. So I have done exactly that, and that's why these people are not in office. That is why this flower, I think, is now in industry.
So you accept you have been misled by your junior officers on this?
You know, to the extent that they advised that this was a soil conditioner, and the fact that whatever this 51 capital provided for access to farmers within our infrastructure is not what was agreed in this agreement, I would say I was misled by them. And when we realized this is what they did, That is why we've taken serious drastic action, and I'm happy. You have also referred me to clause 9 of this agreement, which talks about indemnity. So we have a case that we can be able to really use we can apply paragraph 9 to really seek compensation for the farmers that may have accessed this material.
Honorable Manyo.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. I got that paragraph 28 is on page 16 of 386.
Yes. It's been 16.
In your own bundle, volume 3, where you've acknowledged. Let me just read the first sentence. To the best of my knowledge, CSS have little to no role in matters relating to public procurement decisions and processes. This can be confirmed by the framework for the segregation of responsibilities and systematic and structured corporate decision making established, blah, blah, blah. It's very long. But I just was drawn to little or no role in matters relating to public procurement decisions and processes. Then that makes me now ask my question. If you turn to page 367 of 386, I just want to know if it is you who wrote this letter and that signature is yours.
Yeah, I'm the author of the letter because this is advisory.
That was 20th December 2023. Thank you. Now,